This is List of Creationist Arguments, Ethics, Part 5. Okay, so we're at Evolution Encourages Eugenics, and Hitler based his views on Darwinism. Hitler did not base his views on Darwinism, he used Darwinism. Hitler propagandized everything. One of the things about Hitler was that he essentially took the idea of Frederick the Great, who was a massive successful ruler, probably the most successful ruler of his time, made a Protestant state, but made a state where, during the Protestant and Catholic conflict, he had a church built of the opposition so that both Catholics and Protestants could live in the same place. He basically got lucky. He was such a massive rights person, such a personality of his time, Frederick the Great, that after his enemy, the King of Russia, ironically it's Prussia versus Russia, and this is what I'm talking about, after the King of Russia died, his son, because he was a fan of Frederick, stopped a near decade-long war because he was so impressed by Frederick. Frederick the Great is one of the greatest tragedies in history, turned a tragedy into a success story in history. And Hitler took that guy, who was so progressive, he made a church for the religious opposition during a time when the two religions were fighting each other. He was the first European leader to recognize America. I mean, Hitler took that guy and rewrote history so that it would seem like Frederick the Great would be on his side. So saying Hitler used something for his own benefit is like saying that wood burns, therefore wood helps incinerate people. That's essentially what you're saying. Some people use wood to incinerate people, therefore wood is evil. Okay, so evolution encouraging eugenics. Eugenics is an idea based in politics. Eugenics is a racist point of view of science, but that doesn't mean that the science is wrong or that the science validates eugenics. Eugenics is a political movement that pushes racism on humanity and uses all kinds of excuses about stuff. And it has its origin, the types of politics behind eugenics have their origin in the slave trade in a religious context. People who wanted to transport slaves, people who wanted to enslave people, pushed a religious racial narrative. Racism was used to justify slavery from a religious perspective. Those same types of politics echoed to the time of eugenics. Look at the U.S. Civil War. Look at what the preachers were saying in that. No, look at the New Light movement in the 1740s. No, yeah, the 1740s. One of the major leaders of the New Light movement used his religious politics to push Georgia into reinitiating slavery. So, saying that some things taken by other people who are racist and bigoted and flipped on their head makes that one thing invalid. It's like saying that the Bible has no moral lessons because Jesus sounded like a racist that time, and people in America to this day use religion to justify their racism. You don't believe me? Look up how many people in the Mississippi Republican base don't like interracial marriage. 29%. Yes, 29% of the Mississippi Republican base don't like interracial marriage.